Alright, let's let the show continue, okay? So, anyway, so back on the future of Bitcoin. So, I think kind of the best way to think about things, right? So very, very simple. If you want to make monies in the short term, like 1 to 3 to 5 years, it's just better to just buy MicroStrategy stock, MSTR. The reason is it's essentially 150% levered long Bitcoin, which means you're going to get superior returns over the same period. Now the downside is that it's more volatile and it's more risky because it's a security. Michael Saylor, we all trust him, we all love him, we all trust him, and he is the GOAT. To me, he's like the Steve Jobs of Bitcoin or money, Saylor, long Saylor. But like, let's say one day Saylor, I don't know, gets assassinated, or trips on a banana peel, hits his head, and now he's senile, he loses his mind, whatever, right? Then it's probably not going to be as good. I mean, he put down the strategic 3-year plan, so it's probably going to be fine. The magic number 42. So what's the secret to the universe? The world, life, everything? Easy, 42. The simple numbers, right? So anyways, as a consequence, securities, it's interesting. So also the reason why I like Michael Saylor, I trust him and stuff like that, is I almost watched for the last year, I almost watched every single Michael Saylor interview, read his book, The Mobile Wave, watched all the What is Money series with Robert Breedlove, etc. And for almost 4 years, he never mentioned his company once. And the reason why I think this, I think the reason why this is quite meaningful is that, even when he's talking with Peter Diamandis at his X conference or whatever, like there's a random dude who pulls up in the crowd, they're like, Peter, it's like, Michael, thank you for making me a bunch of money, but why should I already buy Bitcoin? Because I already invest in MicroStrategy stock, and now you helped me make a bunch of money. Why should I invest in Bitcoin? And Michael Saylor, rather than be like, yo, thank you for investing in my stock or my company, he's like, look, I'm not here to, he kind of dismisses it. He's like, look, I'm not here to I'm not here to promote my company, guys. I'm here to promote Bitcoin. And I don't know, I think it's kind of cool because you never really see this kind of, you never kind of see this situation or a future in which, okay, if anything, this is kind of the more honest approach, is that you love the thing, which is Bitcoin. You create a company, which is 150% Bitcoin. I'm like, come on, that's true ball, that's soul in the game, right? And it's kind of like a win-win scenario where you're killing 10 birds with one stone, because you're helping Bitcoin, you're promoting Bitcoin, you're spreading Bitcoin for corporations. Saylor and MicroStrategy, they're doing the Bitcoin for corporations next year, May in Orlando, 2025. And so, crystal ball, right? Definitely in the next 5 to 10 years, you're going to see a lot more companies like Apple, Amazon, Facebook, Google, etc. Strategically buying up Bitcoin as a strategic reserve assets, because if I was Apple, right, you don't want to be dependent on a country, right? You want to be country independent. So Bitcoin is interesting because it is kind of money which is not dependent on something. Here's looking good. So as a consequence, you don't want your finances to be tied down by a certain jurisdiction. So for example, even if I was an Apple Corporation, I wouldn't want to be super subjected to US American law, right? So for example, if one day Donald Trump is like, Apple, you can't make you can't make products or iPhones in China and Foxconn anymore. You got to make them in Louisville or Idaho or Detroit. Apple's probably gonna they're probably gonna want to say toodaloo and go F off to some other company or place or Ireland or something to avoid taxes. And also companies, people not stupid, right? Like everyone knows that Bitcoin is going to be the new dominant internet monetary network and digital property, right? And like, Tesla is already like the precedent has already been set, right? Like Tesla for a minute, like a few years ago, they accepted Bitcoin to buy Teslas, right? And I feel bad for people who made that bad trade that time. It's like you buy an asset, or you buy a thing which is a slowly dilutive asset, like a Tesla car, right? Even if you buy the world's best Tesla, it's only going to slowly bleed and lose value over time. Whereas Bitcoin, over time, is going to be maximally accretive in value, increase in value over time. So then the obvious strategy is... That looks beautiful. I love it. So as a consequence, also, I think the analogy is to think about Bitcoin like digital steel, but it's better than steel because it's anti-fraud. Bitcoin is almost like its own cyber organism in cyberspace. And when I say that, what I mean is, let me give you an example. Let's say, I buy property here in Culver City, right? And let's say it's worth $1.6 million, right? And then let's say, boom, tomorrow, I don't know, Google decides to build a headquarters next to my house, right? And then my property value goes up to $2 million, right? So those super local geopolitical things will have a positive effect on my home value, whatever, right? But can you imagine if you own Bitcoin? It could be one random entrepreneur in Singapore or Vietnam or Taiwan or Nebraska that creates a new killer app, something like Lightning version 2.0 for Bitcoin, and then everyone in the network benefits. So the big thought right now is the future of Bitcoin. First, true digital property. Think about property rights, what it means to own property, the philosophy of that, etc. And also, if you want value, buy Bitcoin, not physical property.